we have like such a player-led team because we've had so many coaches. You know what I mean? Like when our first coach got fired, like my class, it was like we kind of banded together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody left. Like, we didn't know what to expect. You know, we were coming off a 2-9 season. You know what I'm saying? But like, and just seeing how like a lot of the older guys who like, because a lot of our team didn't leave after our head coach got after the first one got fired. So like, seeing how they kind of embraced us and was like, okay, whoever comes in, bro, like we're tired of losing. We got to go to work.
We are here, another episode of Not Even D2. Great episode we got today where we talk with Jaquez Moore, Duke football running back, really good player. Got high hopes for him, hoping to go to the league eventually. It was a really good episode. But before we talk about football, bro, it's opening night of the league. I don't know if I got my Thunder on. I can't even watch the ring ceremony tonight. I got class, so I'm sick. But talk to me. What you thinking heading into the season? What storylines you looking at? Talk to me.
Really excited for the NBA season to start. Once I saw, I follow the Lakers fan page. So once I seen they posted that it was game day, I was like, yeah, it's time. It's about that time. But yeah, it's really excited for the NBA season to start. Like I just said, I'm really interested to see how the East plays out because I feel like there's a lot of like the Knicks, the Cavs are two of the top teams, the Pistons. But like I'm really interested to see how like some of like the other teams, like 6 through 8, and even some of the playing teams look. Obviously, we know about the West. That West is going to be a gauntlet this year with so many good teams. So a lot of good things happen in the NBA right now. I'm really excited to see how the season plays out.
Nah, OD. It's gonna be a good. I feel like every year people say like this is the most lit that NBA has been with the talent and stuff like that. But this year there's actually like you mentioned the West, and I obviously I'm gonna say the Thunder, but there's like 5 or 6 teams that if they have one thing go right for them, like if Amin Thompson or Reed Shepard's ready to be point guard, then the Rockets could be a title contender. If Cam Johnson fits in smoothly with the Nuggets, they're probably the best team in the league. I can keep on going down the list, and then like you said, the East is like it's getting slept on right now for sure. But I think once like the games start to be played, you'll see the NBA is gonna be good competition throughout. But shout out to my guys getting the ring. I know they're gonna be lit tonight. Gotta get the dub though. Let's get back to this conversation with Jaquez Moore. Like I said, Duke football running back. He's been like a veteran there, probably one of the oldest guys on the team. Stayed all 5 years at Duke, which got to commend him for that with the era transfer portal and all that. What you think about this episode?
Definitely a great episode, man. Shout out Hama for connecting us. That's his cousin. But yeah, I mean, Jaquez, it was a cool interview, bro. It was, I was really excited to do another football episode. We hadn't, done something like that in a while. And especially with a high caliber player like Jaquez. I mean, he's playing for Duke that plays in the ACC, which is, high level football. And he's had a pretty solid year, this year. He has one touchdown on the year, but he has about 170 yards so far in the season. So, but that's in a running back room that's really good. Like, do you know the name of the other running back? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, Nate Shepard, I think his last name is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nate Shepard. He's been bugging. I'm pretty sure he's a freshman too. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what Duke does this year. And they had a really good team, and it was a great interview, bro.
No, facts. It's tough because we were talking about the Georgia Tech game. I thought they was gonna sneak one in, but they ended up losing. It was a good game. Though I was tuned in. I feel like there's definitely some questions that's arising in the like they've been doing good, but Manny Diaz, I think I seen a stat that he's like 0-4, 0-5 against AP top 25 teams. And for a school that's like trying to build that program, they're gonna need to like catch one or two of those games to actually solidify themselves as we're actually a top football program and not just a basketball school. But I read this like really cool article on CBS. I forgot who the journalist was, but it was a conversation with the athletic director, and he was just talking about like their pursuit to make the football team good again, and like that takes a lot of effort, and you got to start spending money. So I really just like respect that program because it would be easy to just like keep building the Duke basketball program, give them all the resources, but they put a real effort into this football program, and it's showing, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, just with the Duke basketball, obviously we know it's the brotherhood, right? They've put out so many NBA players, but now, like you said, they're trying to. It'll be hard to change the guard within the Duke school, but at least be like, nah, Duke got a good football team too, bro. Yeah, kind of like Syracuse in a way, where I feel like Syracuse will always be a basketball school, but the football team is up and coming right now. I mean, they're having a so-so year, but same idea for sure.
Not facts, but let's get into the conversation. Really quick, last thing. I was recording during this episode in a public space, so sometimes it gets a little loud with people talking like near my camera. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, Jaquez camera like lags sometimes. So if you notice it's a little blurry or whatever, his service was bad. But now let's actually get into the episode with Jaquez.
All right, we are here. Another episode of Not Even D2. We're here with the guy. Should I say Jaquez, Job? What would you prefer, bro?
Jaquez. I mean, really Quez.
Quez?
All the guys call me Swiss. You know what I'm saying?
Swiss?
Ooh.
All right,
Yeah.
bet. So,
Where'd that come from? Swiss.
Um, like Swiss cheese, money. Like I stand on business. Like you can't get over on me. Like that's really where it came from. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's only right we start off the convo just giving the viewers a little context how it'd be like Duke football game week. You guys got a crazy game, which we'll talk about more in a little bit, but just like go through the schedule, which I've been doing this past week. I'm interested to hear that.
For sure. So I mean, coming off a bye week last week, having some time to rest, and kind of get a jump on Georgia Tech. It's kind of been keeping the main thing the main thing. Kind of got a little break with like between practices. Didn't have to wake up because it was also fall break, so no classes too. So we got to sleep in a little bit, but just being excited. I don't think we've beaten Georgia Tech in like 5 years, so I think everybody's been pretty locked in. Well, I mean, we haven't beaten them since I've been here, so but yeah, for the most part, everybody it was like a different level of urgency, different level of locked in this week. Um, Kind of the schedule's kind of been the same, but just like the intent of everybody has kind of been different.
it's kind of interesting. You said you've been around for like 5 years now. It's your fifth year. So
Yeah,
five different training camps, you know what I'm saying? You've
yeah.
been through a couple of different. So talk about how this training camp or this season has kind of been a little bit different from the others.
um, I think what makes them so different than each other, especially this one being just that it's I've been through so many, so like the kid, like the younger guys on the team call me the vet, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you kind of know what to expect. I mean, and that's not to say that it gets any easier, but I mean you kind of know what you're stepping into. You know what the schedule is. You know the toll it's gonna take on your body. You know how you need to take care of your body, and things like that. So, um, I think going into my fifth year, also coming off of last year where I really didn't play because of an injury, it was definitely a new experience. Like just like trying to take it day by day, not make the days count instead of counting the days type of thing. So
Mhm.
I mean that really was like the biggest difference that I can notice.
No, that's tough. Definitely gonna spin back on the football talk in a little bit, but I peeped in your bio that you studied African and American studies. Is that true?
Yeah, well, so I double majored in sociology and African American studies.
Okay, word. I know Duke is like a pretty good academic school. So how's that been? Or like, I'm interested to hear what the content really was in the African American studies, but also like how it's been for you being 5 years with the Duke academics, going to school, trying to be at your best football too.
I mean, coming to Duke was really the best of both worlds. I mean, well, not at first because I committed when we was, pretty bad. But from the academic part, it's definitely been an experience. You know what I'm saying? I think it's um a different way of learning, so to say. Um, and I really don't like I don't think I can say that because I haven't been to any other colleges, but it's like just hearing experiences of like what goes on in other universities, it just feels kind of different. It's like it's more open hands. Like they don't want you to fail out of here. You know what I mean? And so and even though if you come to Duke, you're not gonna fail out of here, but they really do push you to be your best. So going into my 5th year academically was, being able to graduate last semester, but also, just still taking classes this semester is definitely like it's different. It's definitely different. But as far as African American studies, like it was a lot, bro. It was from the Atlantic slave trade to like history of hip hop. I'm learning. I'm in class learning about Drake, Jay Z. It's funny. I actually took one of my African American studies class. I took with hip hop producer Ninth Wonder, and I was able to get his contact, and it told me to stay in touch. But that was just crazy to me. Like I'm really in an African American studies course, and I'm learning about like music, something that I really fascinated about. So. Yeah, I was, it varies. It varies.
No, I was gonna say that's super tough. I love music, and the fact that they're including that in the curriculum and y'all learn about that or writing essays, that's fire, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, facts. But yeah, let's talk about it, bro. So Georgia Tech, they rank 12th right now in the country. It's a big
Yeah.
time ACC matchup. Just give me this gonna come out after the game, so just give me the rundown on like what schemes y'all trying to run, what y'all seeing in the film session, what you expecting from this game.
Um. Honestly, I if I without saying too much, I think it's coming out and doing what we've been doing. Running the rock. Um. It's gonna be a physical game. I think Georgia Tech has established themselves as a physical team. They like to dominate the trenches. Um. But that's gonna be the kicker because I feel like we dominate the trenches every time we step on the field. So I think it's just keeping the main thing, and being able to run the football. Because if we can run the football, then everything we want to do in the passing game is gonna open up. And so I think it's just being consistent and just sticking to who we are.
100%, bro. One thing I was curious about. So you've been at Duke for the past 5 years, and I feel like the ACC has kind of risen with the Duke football program. Like when a
Yeah.
few years ago nobody's really talking about the ACC. Obviously, you have like Clemson that's always been like a nationally known program, but now like Georgia Tech is rising, Virginia Tech is pretty good throughout the years, but like your program has also rose. So just talk about like what that atmosphere has been like, some of the not challenges, but just like the opportunity you guys have had with the ACC rising with the Duke football program as well.
Um, I think it's like really you got to give credit to a lot of myself and my teammates just because of when we've gone through 3 different coaches, so you can't say that it's the coaching staff. I think it's a mentality within the players, and I think us just wanting it, like. And also that trickling over to other schools, especially with the transfer portal. I think you're able to bring in a wide variety of guys with different types of hunger. Like and it's crazy that you asked because I was just talking about this the other day, like how it's so even around college football, especially within conferences. You know what I'm saying? And like a few years ago, it didn't used to be like that. But I think the transfer portal plays a big deal. But at Duke, I think it was more so, me and my teammates like really coming together and building something deeper than football that just translated over onto the field. Like what we do here, the things that we have here, you're not really gonna get anywhere else, and like a lot of we firmly believe that, like the brotherhood that we built, it has carried us a long way. And with being a 5th year senior and this being my last year, and like you think all the time, like what mark do you want to leave on the program? And I think it's just keeping that brotherhood intact, because I feel like that's what's driven us these last few years into being talked about when you talk about the ACC as a conference, So I think just keeping that like keeping the main thing, like what the standard is, and if you're gonna be here, you got to go by it.
Nah, that's a fact. I mean, you want to uphold the standard, especially the coaches will try to uphold the standard, but as a player, like you said, you're a 5th year, you want to reach, heights that the Duke football program has never reached. You want to, you yourself, you want to have a good year. So you're going to hold yourself, your teammates, the coaching staff, even to a real high standard, bro. One thing,
Definitely.
one thing I'm wondering about. So you mentioned how you were battling through injuries last year. And
Mhm.
was this like the kind of the first time that you had dealt with like a serious injury before in your life? Like that's my first question before I ask you the
Um,
next one.
I mean, my freshman year of high school, I had a deep thigh contusion, but at the time nobody knew what it was. But I did miss like the last 6 games of my freshman year. Um, but like true injury where I had to have surgery and like be out for a few months, yeah, that was really my first. And and it was
Well,
to tell you the truth, it was hard, bro. Like it just like never being hurt before, you know what I'm saying? Like all I knew was football. Like all I knew was ball, ball, ball. I gotta get up and get it. I gotta hit this workout, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get it hard, you know, and it was like that injury put me down, set me out, giving me a different perspective. Like even last year, just being hurt, and really like just sitting out and seeing the game from a different perspective. Like not even necessarily a fan's perspective, but more so like an insider's perspective. Like you just got the inside scoop on everything, and it was very eye opening. You know what I'm saying, to a lot of different things, and it made me self correct, and change a lot about myself. You know what I'm saying, because I went through a dark time. Um, I wouldn't say it was a dark time, but I was in a dark place, just dealing with a lot, and because like again, I've never been hurt before. It was rough, man. Like nights of no sleep, like just wondering if I'll ever be the same again, stuff like that, and it took a toll on me, but being able to bounce back, being able to shake back, being able to be a better version of myself, feel like I'm better than what I was before I got hurt. I mean, that's really been like my biggest like booster this year, just keeping me going. Like I definitely look better than I ever have, I just got to keep it going.
it's interesting, bro, because when I think about like injuries in different sports and how they may affect players, like I feel like football, like injuries are some of like it's so tough, like dealing with injuries in football because you really don't play that many games, number one. And it's like, let's say if you have like a sprained ankle or something like that, or like really messed up, like you must have to miss like 4 or 5 weeks. That's 5 games. That's half the season that you already missing, bro. And I'm like you said,
Facts.
that's tough mentally on yourself. But when did you feel like you were finally like making a corner in your recovery or turning the corner in your recovery and really, making good progress to be where you are today, just killing it?
I would say for me it was right before spring ball. So I had got cleared early March. Like not cleared, but I was cleared to do activities or whatever. And we had just got a new running back coach. So I was, getting familiar with his indie drills and stuff like that. And I think just when I was going through the drills and I just felt myself more and more not thinking about my ankle, but thinking about my technique. And of course it was obviously over time because it's still hints in there like I don't want to make that step, but especially like because I was thinking about this the other day, like I haven't thought about my ankle in months, like haven't even it hasn't even been a thought. Like even if I hit it on a corner or something and like it's tweaked out, like I still like I don't think I had surgery on it, like, but like I think. When I started just getting reps and then started seeing team reps, and like now I'm going against other like the defense again, and I'm making cuts that I used to make, and it's like, okay, I'm me again, and then now it's just put it together and I'll be better than what I was, so that's really how I it came to be that I felt like I was better than myself or better than my old version of myself.
Nah, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you just got like a different perspective on how to be Jaquez, like the best running back. So, like you just sitting on the sideline, obviously that hurts mentally, but it's also like improving your game at the same time. You're not even noticing it until you get back to full form. You like, oh shit, I remember watching this on the sideline. Now I gotta hit this cut a different way. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand what you're saying. But like we've been saying, you've been in the Duke program for a minute, and been a lot of running backs that came through the program, a lot of good talent. But I feel like right now, y'all like probably the best that has been you, Anderson, and Nate been having really good seasons. Especially Nate, freshman, came on the scene and was just balling out. Just talk about how like this running back room differs from others, whether that's like the chemistry, how y'all building connections together. Just I'm interested to hear how y'all like competing in practice, how y'all making each other get better.
I think what separates us this year is really the fact that it's majority vets in the room. Um, So a lot of 3 year, 4 year guys. Me being Anderson being a 6 year, me being a fifth year. So and Nate being as talented as he is, I think it's just a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom to soak up in that room. And I think because of that, everybody kind of feeds off of that. It's kind of like I was dealing with a little foot sprain early on in the season against NC State, And instead of being down and out about it, we got the mentality in our room, next man up. So and Nate and AC handled up correctly, and when they handled up correctly, like they got the hot hand right now. So it's you gotta let you luck, and I think that's what keeps us going, like knowing that anybody can go in there and pop it off and make something shake, like so because of that, and like because of that, we kind of keep it all going. And that's not to say that it hasn't been like that over the last previous years, but I think this year that's what really stands out, and like that's what's keeping the room going. Like it's every day, it's a new like competitive edge, like somebody's trying to outdo somebody on something, and like it's not being said, but it's understood, I
No,
think that's like the biggest thing.
that's cool. Like I said, we was listening to the pod, and like from training camp, you was saying like, "Yo, this running back room is nice. Nate is nice." So
Nah,
it's
yeah,
cool to see
for
y'all
sure,
like
nice.
dominating in the trenches. But one thing I was curious, you don't really hear much talk about is how running backs like build a bond with the line, because obviously that's like probably the most important thing, like knowing who you gonna follow on certain carries, stuff like that. So I'm curious outside of the field, like what your relationship is with the lineman. I do.
Um, I mean, my old line, we kind of we kind of got a great relationship. We've been playing together. Like I've been there, so me and Justin Pickett, the right guard, we came in together, and then the rest of the guys on the O line, besides Jordan Larson, I've been here since they were, freshmen. So it's like just building that bond over the years, like when I was running with the twos and they were running with the twos back in the day, and like just running behind them, giving them little, little tips. And it's like now, like, and also we lift together in during the off season. Like the running backs in the O line are we all lift together. So I mean, we're always building that camaraderie, that juice every day. Um, but yeah, it's kind of never wavered. Like those are my guys. They know I rock with them. They tell me all the time, "Nah, we got you. We know you got us." So I'm rocking with them boys to the end, man.
Nah, that's super tough. Like I know it's a different level, but like in the NFL, when I see like QBs give their O line like gifts or something like that for Christmas, or the running backs hook them up, whatever. Like it's
Right,
always
yeah.
cool to like see that type of stuff. Like the big guys like getting appreciation because shit wouldn't really pop off without them, bro. You know what I mean?
You feel me, gang? Like without them, it ain't no us.
Nah, that's a fact. That one thing I'm wondering about too. You talked about like how the team has kind of stayed the same almost, and like a lot of you guys are really having the same mindset of maybe next man up or just attacking, the ACC with like a want to dominate type of mindset. But like KJ mentioned, you guys have had I think 3 different coaches since you've been there at Duke. So, and
Hmm.
I know I asked like what's been different about this past training camp and this season, but what's the biggest like culture change that you've seen in the program since Coach Diaz took over from the other two other coaches?
Um, I would say like the biggest culture change would be basically like I want to word this right. Like the culture really like and don't take this wrong when I say this, but like the culture really hasn't changed much because I feel like we have like such a player led team because we've had so many coaches. You know what I mean? Like when our first coach got fired, like my class, it was like we kind of banded together. Like you know what I'm saying? Nobody left. Like we didn't know what to expect. We were coming off a 2-9 season. You know what I'm saying? But like and just seeing how like a lot of the older guys who like because a lot of our team didn't leave after our head coach got after the first one got fired. So like seeing how they kind of embraced us and was like, okay, whoever comes in, bro, like we're tired of losing. We got to go to work. So and kudos to our strength coach David Feely because I think when he came in and he kind of flipped everybody's mentality, I think that also helped within the culture because now it's a you know I don't care. I got to get it out the sewer type. You know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody around you has that mentality. So it's like you're holding people, like you holding dudes accountable, and it's crazy because you never really like I don't think you really see this at other places, like where everybody's trying like yes, of course everybody got the same dream, but when everybody got the same goal, same mindset, like we're all working towards one thing, like I ain't gonna lie, our workouts are intense, bro. Like very intense. Like you think
That's
we're
tough.
marine training. Like you really think we're marine training. That's how intense we work, So it's like going through that with like bro, I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a dude right here. He from Wisconsin. I'm from Florida. You know what I'm saying? Two different backgrounds, two different, but it's like he knows I'm not gonna let him fail, and I know he's not gonna let me fail. And I think that like that being the culture, like regardless of who comes in, even if coach like not saying like that he is or anything, but even if Coach Diaz was to get fired or leave, like I feel like the culture would be the same, because it's a player led team and like we push each other to greatness. Like we don't allow it to come from any outside, and we kind
Or
of did that.
it's kind of like you said, like you don't see that in every program. I'm not saying that this is like apples to apples, but like Nick Saban left Bama and everybody talks about how it's not the same program no more. And obviously Nick Saban's like one of the best, but you still see that like it wasn't a player led. Like he was controlling that culture. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but just saying to
Yeah,
your point, like sometimes the player led is actually more impactful than just a coach because now even if like you said Diaz left, y'all would still be competing in
like
the
yeah.
ACC, trying to get a chip. I'm kind of curious. Does the schedule like change week to week for y'all, or is it relatively the same? But if so, I'm just trying to get some clarity on how y'all schedule actually is, because I know as a football player, like especially with school, it can be OD.
Um, it's kind of the same week to week. Like only thing that'll probably change about it is if like if we got an away game, we might leave on Friday. Like it's like we get Monday off because like that's our legal off day. Practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, walk through Friday. And then if we leave on Friday, like if we leave on Fridays, we normally leave. We practice in the morning. But if we don't, we'll practice in the afternoon and just hit the hotel, like bus to the hotel afterwards. But and then Sunday you come in, watch some film, correct, get treatment.
So like usually when you hear about Duke, obviously your first thoughts is basketball, and I feel like even that is kind of changing now that y'all have had some success. But I'm kind of curious how like the Duke basketball brand or narrative kind of impacts the football team, whether that's like y'all just lit to go to the games, if y'all got any connection. I know Cooper Flag was over there last year.
Yeah.
Just talk about like the impact that the basketball team or their reputation has on y'all.
Especially like you made a good point, especially like with us being on the come up. I think our collaboration, our like our networking with Duke basketball has definitely gotten better over the years. Um, I think like you said, like Duke basketball itself brings like notoriety to Duke, So and like now because we have a good football team, I think it kind of just correlates. Like now we're like one of them schools with like best of both worlds, like Alabama, because like Alabama's basketball team recently has been coming up and it's been good. So, but I think Duke basketball spotlight definitely like at first was definitely low key kind of hogging the spotlight, because Duke football wasn't matching the intensity, matching the brand. But now that I feel like Duke football is up and coming and is trying to match what Duke basketball brings. I think it's crazy. And even the players like like my freshman year, that freshman basketball class, it was Paulo Banchero, Trevor Keels, Jalen Blakes, Adrian Griffin. And I was cool with all of those guys. Me and Paulo's keep in touch today. Me and Jalen too. Trev. I was talking to Trev a couple weeks ago. He was down in Durham, or he was back down here in Durham. So like just having those connections, like real friendships. Like, some people think that like you just talk to these guys just because of who they are, but it's like nah, like I really hung out with these dudes, like me and Paulo done played 2K, me and Trevor done kicked it in the whip, like these are some real genuine guys. And it's like, I don't know, it's definitely been an experience in itself too, like hanging with Paulo and then watching bro get drafted over like first overall, like, that was definitely crazy. That was definitely crazy.
Hey, who was one of them 2K games real quick? I gotta ask.
Who was winning? He was. I ain't gonna lie. He a sweat, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He a sweat, bro. He a sweat. He a sweat. Like he
Let's
wanted them. He wanted them. He stand up the whole game, like regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he already tall, so like, yeah, you feel me?
Hey, bro. Honestly, if I was him, I would be. I couldn't lose to a football player, bro. I would try my hardest too. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, like but he was trying his hardest, like with everybody though. Like he was really on one. Son was really popping it though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yo, I wanted to bring this up too, like with Duke football. Like looking at some of the alumni, like you guys have had some players in the NFL the last couple of years too. So that's like also contributing to like the notoriety of like the Duke football program. Like obviously like Daniel Jones, he was a top 5 pick, so everyone knows him, and
Mhm.
he's killing right now in Indianapolis. But I know Michael Carter II, I think he was
Yeah,
there. I think he left in
like
2021 maybe. But
yeah,
he's like
yeah,
he's like Jake Bobo too. I think he played with the Seahawks last year or 2 years ago. But like
yeah.
a lot of great players coming out of Duke still, going and make it to the league.
Most deaf, yeah. Like Jake Bobo was my locker mate, and me and Mike be on 2K all the time, man. But I think, like you said, man, I think just having that pipeline of Duke to the league, because it wasn't this deep before I got here, you know. But like having more guys and having more guys with stain in the league, like former captain Dwayne Carter, another former captain Jacob Monk. We had a first rounder last year or 2 years ago. Graham Barton plays center for the Bucks. And, like sharing a facility with these guys day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing how they go to work. Like I don't watch like dying with my boy Jacob while we running sprints. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing it from both sides. It's like, man, like it's crazy, but it really gives you the perspective. Like, man, it's available. It's there. It's opportunity. Opportunity to be took. Like. So you just got to, and knowing that I'm doing exactly what they did, and it's like, if I keep doing it, I'm gonna be there one day too.
Word, that's fire, bro. This is my last question about the ACC, but obviously, like, there's some pretty big, like schools. Clemson gets lit, Cuse even gets lit for football. I'm just curious if you could talk about some of your favorite environments, like specific games, like walking out to the field, what you seen, how loud it was, shit like that.
Um, so I mean, okay, I'll talk about this year and then my personal favorite. So this year, I would say Syracuse probably was the best environment we played in so far. Um, Being able to silence that crowd felt pretty good. I know we go to Clemson as well.
My
And
cousin
we
on that
play
team, he
for real.
might. I'm fake jacking him though. Terrell,
Terrell, what number? What
corner,
number?
corner.
Corner.
Uh,
What?
hold on, I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, gang. I know numbers. I ain't gonna lie. I know
Eight, eight,
numbers.
eight, eight.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's a bet. Hey, that's a bet. He be out
No,
there
no,
for
he's
real.
tough. He's tough.
Yeah, he be out there for real.
My,
Yeah.
I think my fam going to that game too, so
Oh,
you might
that's a
have to.
bet. Yeah, that's what that. Yeah, I heard that environment is crazy. But like, if I had to pick one time, like a personal favorite or a personal favorite would be Florida State. Florida State environment is ridiculous. Doak Campbell is ridiculous. Like, so I never visited a game as a kid. So going back there when we played in 2023, that was my first time, and it's ridiculous, bro. Like Florida State at its peak, you can't hear nothing, absolutely nothing. Like you can't hear like somebody standing right next to you. You can't hear him like nothing, bro, nothing. Um, a sneaky crowd that gets loud. I wouldn't say it's crazy loud, but it gets loud. Louisville's crowd definitely gets somewhat kind of loud, but it's sneaky though. Like it's like like them popping parties, like when like somebody or like a pop at a baseball game, like somebody hit a home run or something, and it's like that pop of the crowd. That's what Louisville sounds like, but it's way louder, way louder.
Louisville good this year too.
Yeah, Louisville is decent, man. The ACC is deep this year, bro. This back half of the season is going to determine a lot for a lot of teams, man. It's deep, bro. I think we can make some news, make some noise though. We can make some shit shake.
One thing I'm wondering about, bro, you talked about it in the Devil Up podcast. The different football states and who got the best football players coming out. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, when y'all was talking about North Carolina and you was like, y'all boys don't ball down there in North Carolina, man. We not worried about y'all. Like it was just kind of funny. So talk about, just some of the top states that you think produce like some of the best football players.
Okay. Top. I'm gonna say 1A. I'm gonna say 1A, 1B, and 1C because it could be either one. Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Like 1A, 1B, and 1C. Then if I had to do a two, I would say, hmm, like Bama produced sneaky talent, bro. Bama.
No Cali
Cali got talent, but Cali got quarterbacks though. You feel me? Cali
and
gonna be scrapping
receivers
with
though, and
quarterbacks.
receivers though.
Yeah, a good receiver. I'll definitely put Cali as no lower than three, no lower than three, because Cali do got some dogs out there. And then four, I low key might put Jersey. Jersey got some ballers. Jersey got
So
some ballers.
that word, I didn't even know that. But
Jersey got some
that's
ballers.
tough because they really like that in basketball
You feel
too.
me? Like that whole like that DMV area up there, like DC, Maryland, like they all that up there. I'll put them at fourth or yeah fourth, and then North Carolina would be my fifth. If I had to do a top five, that would be my top five. Because North Carolina, like they not bad, but it's like it's a lot of ball here. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the comp varies, you know. Like in Florida, regardless if you playing at a 2A school or a 5A school, you're gonna see some comp, you know. And I feel like Georgia, you're gonna see comp. Texas, you see comp. Jersey, you're gonna see some comp. You know, DC, DMV, you see comp. You know, Cali, you definitely see it. You know, like I think it varies. Like I think, but it's yeah, it's my top five.
Nah, it's a pretty solid top five. Honestly, I was wondering if you're going to say Jersey because I heard Jersey on a come up low key, and I'm wondering if there's like an underrated state you think that's out there that produces some good talent.
Underrated, I would say. From what I've seen, Virginia. Virginia, Virginia produced crazy talent, but it's like you don't really hear about him until like you know what I'm saying. Oh, where he from? Virginia. He from you know what I'm saying. Like okay,
Yeah.
valid. You know, Virginia is definitely that state.
Hey,
Definitely.
UVA having a good year this year too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, UVA. Yeah, UVA look good.
Not for
UVA
sure.
look good. Just
But
watching them play, they look good. Look better than they have.
Nah, for sure. They got some good dubs, bro, already. Um, but I think this is our last question, bro, before we get into rapid fire. And we got this little segment called Starting Five. But so for the last question, bro, I'm just kind of wondering, just watching your style, I just want you to describe your running back style to like the viewers. And who are some running backs that you like model your game after that, really give you inspiration?
But so when it comes to my style, I had a lot of time to think about this over the off season. You know, I think playing running back to be, you know, one of them ones, you kind of got to have your own style, you know. And I think what I bring to the game is a little bit of everything, you know. And so and to follow into that, like running backs, like I kind of like to help work on my game. I kind of take bits and pieces from everybody. You know, I think like when I was real young, I used to watch Dalvin Cook a lot. You know, so like using his vision, his elusiveness, seeing oh how did he break that? Okay, and then just translating that into my game. Or another one for me was Le'Veon Bell. You know, his patience, but his ability to also hit it in an instant. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's very similar to my game or something that I took. Um, when it came to like I've never been, you know, the shake shimmy type, but when it came to LaShawn McCoy, just being able to like make somebody miss and go, you know, like I think that's something that's big in my games of being able to make somebody miss and get yak. You know, I think that's a big thing about being a running back, being able to produce after the catch, like you know what I'm saying, after contact. Um, but trying to think what else. I try to keep it simple because when you start trying to do like a lot like everybody else, you start losing. You know, saying your feel, your style. You know, like one thing I kind of do is I'm not gonna say I hop. I study ball enough to like I anticipate everything. You know what I'm saying? So like one thing that's kind of flaws in my game because I anticipate so much. I might anticipate that he might block him one way and then he doesn't. And then at that point, like I just gotta react, you know. And I think that's where like studying Dalvin Cook and watching him react, you know what I'm saying? Watching him anticipate when it's not there, react in the moment and make something happen, you know. But I think that's kind of what you know my game is. I think it's kind of a little combination of a little bit of everything, but also like my own style, my own you know swiftness to it.
I feel like the 2010s in the NFL, like the running backs is OD, like Dalvin Cook, Le'Veon Bell, but they wasn't valued the same way how they were supposed to be. So now, like you don't even see them dudes in the league no more. But I was a big Le'Veon Bell fan. Steelers. That's really why I'm a Steelers fan. Ruda, it's Le'Veon Bell, seeing his patience, but that shit just crazy. But this is our last question before we get into rapid fire. So obviously, like you in your last year, having a pretty good year yourself, coming off injury, still a lot of the season to go. But what's the future look like for Jaquez, bro?
You know, hopefully finish it off strong, finish it off with a few championships. Um, and then man, just sell out for the league, bro. Go off and train. Ain't really put in like the specifics or the details of every got into everything yet, but definitely want to go train and get my body right for then just to give myself an opportunity at the next level, bro. Like um I feel like I'm a league back. I feel like I can make a difference now. Whether that's special teams or backing up your main dude, you know what I'm saying? I think I can come in and be that spark that your team needs. If you get down and you just need somebody to come in and 40 yards here, 20 yards here, I think I can be that guy. Um, I think it's just, staying down for me and staying humble, and giving it all to God. You know what I'm saying? Because without Him, there is no me. There is no this. So I think, um, just staying down, staying in my Bible, and taking it day by day. Not looking too far ahead into the future, but not dwelling on the past, but taking each opportunity as it comes and making the most of it.
Nah, bro, I love that answer. And we, KJ and I are definitely rooting for you. I know we talked about, my boy Hammer off air, but you family with him, so that makes us family too, bro. Hammer's
Yeah,
my guy
bro.
for sure. But let's get into rapid fire though before we end this episode, bro. You ready?
Bet. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So first rapid fire question I got for you. So I always ask this question sometimes, like who's the funniest teammate, but I'm gonna switch it up this time. What is the funniest like position group on the team?
Funniest position group. Um, I ain't gonna lie, gang. If it's not the receivers, it's definitely the DNs, bro. Like the DN, they just so deep, bro, and there's so many different personalities, gang. Like the DN room is hilarious, bro. Definitely
Nah,
hilarious. But the receivers, I I rock with our young receivers, bro. Them guys funny, bro.
nah, I was gonna say my guess would have been for your answer would have been O line too. I met some funny O linemen over the past couple years.
Yeah, the O line funny, bro. They do stuff and it just don't make sense. But you know what I'm saying? Like our freshmen do stuff and like it just don't make sense. It was like at a point in time it don't even be funny no more, bro. Like lock in, bro.
That sounds about right for sure. Next rapid fire question. Outside of Duke, who got the best jerseys in the ACC?
Best in the ACC. Um, who all we played? Okay, I would probably have to give it to Louisville. Just some of
They're
our
they're
great.
Adidas, right?
Huh?
Louisville. Louisville's
Yeah,
Adidas, right?
yeah. I think Louisville is Adidas.
That's fire. Yeah, they got red jerseys, the white. I think they got black too, right?
They got gray and gold. They got all types, bro. Yeah, I rock with Louisville jersey.
And then last rapid fire question: who is like another running back that like Duke football went against? Obviously, you didn't like tackle him or nothing like that, but like who is another running back in the ACC that you were always like, nah, he's legit. Like I'm gonna keep like stay connected with him or keep watching his game.
That's still playing in ACC now, or that I played against in my career.
Played against in your career.
Um, damn, it's been a couple of them. So Amarion Hampton from UNC, which would probably be my biggest. Like I watched him shred our defense. Well, I ain't gonna say shred, but I watched him, put pain in against our defense each year, and each year he got another level of respect from me. Um, uh, Crazy. This made my freshman year. We played against Jameer Gibbs when he was at Georgia Tech. Yeah, and we
Demon.
and watching that in person was crazy. Watching that in person was crazy, but
Nah, that's
definitely,
tough.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. And if I had to choose one from right now, I would say, um, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy from Wake Forest, the dude at Wake Forest right now, I got a lot of respect for him because he's been doing it as long as I have, and he balling, bro, balling.
yeah, I'm
So
gonna see them real soon. But
yeah,
I got a rapid fire too. I usually don't do one, but what's I'm feeling the vibes right now that you're gonna score on Saturday. So give me a sneak peek on what the Celly about to be.
what is Celly about to be? Gang, I ain't even had a Celly like
No,
picked
you
out
gotta
in a
have
month,
one,
bro.
bro. You gotta have one.
Game. I might. I don't even know. I might. No, I don't even know, twin. I ain't even got nothing picked out. Like I might just
You
hand the
you
ball
be
to the
tapped
ref.
into TikTok or nah?
Huh?
Nah, you can't just do something simple like that. You be on the TikTok or nah?
Nah, I be tapped in, but I ain't. You feel me? I don't really be. Oh, you know what I might do? I might go dap the ref up and hit that. Yeah, you feel me? Yeah. I might do something, twin. I gotta do something.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. But when you score, I'm gonna be hype seeing that Celly though too. I need to
Most
see
deaf.
some.
Most deaf.
But we're gonna end this episode. So we usually do basketball and it'd be like a starting five. But this one we're gonna do your running back. So you gotta build your ideal offensive line to run behind. So start from the left side, go to the right side, and tell me like their names and where you play with them at. So it could be all years of Duke and high school.
Okay, bet, bet. So at left tackle, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. My boy Graham Barton.
Okay.
I'm gonna put Graham at left tackle. Um, why Graham was a dog. Running behind Graham is fun. Fun. Like we have fun running
Instant
behind him.
hole.
Um, left guard, I'm going to put. Hmm. At my left guard, who am I going to put? Give me. Give me Jacob Monk. Give me Jacob Monk
Heard.
left guard. I played with him in 23. 23 was his last year actually. Monk at my left guard. At my center, give me Brian Parker. Yeah, yeah. Y'all see,
Okay.
y'all making me build like a real deal. Yeah, give me Brian Parker in my center. He's assumed to be first rounder, you know.
Okay. That's tough.
Um, at my right guard, give me who do I want to play on my right guard? Give me Justin Pickett. Give me my boy Pick. I'll put Pickett in my right guard.
Heard.
Pick the dog. And then in my right tackle, I gotta go my boy Dre Harris.
Dre here.
Dre got some nice feet, bro. I'm telling you, Dre got some nice feet. That's my all time. Like if I had to run behind the O line right now, that's those are five I'm
You
going.
you rushing for 100 a game at that point.
I might go for 200 a game with that O line. I just you know what I mean.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's tough. But that's gonna do it for another episode of Not Even D2. We appreciate you getting on, bro.
it's
Like we
dub,
said, we
gang.
tapped into the journey, and good luck this weekend, bro.
Appreciate you, gang. Appreciate you. Bro.
That's gonna do it for our conversation with Jaquez Moore. Definitely a fire episode. Got great insight into the Duke program, which is cool to hear. He's been like the oldest guy, and he's seen their trajectory rise. Like probably with him too as a player. Like freshman year, not really knowing much, and then as he continues to develop, so is the Duke football program. So that's got to be a good feeling. But what do you think about this episode? Reflecting on it.
Definitely a great episode. It was just interesting to hear his journey, throughout playing 5 years in college football and the grind that is dealing with injuries, how he processed that, and, how he just adjusted to, that high major type of lifestyle, bro. It's completely different from anything other, any other type of level, the commitment, what you got to put into your body. And, Jaquez is a example of that, bro. And I'm really wishing him the best. Honestly, I really hope that he could, get to the show. I really think he can. So really excited to see what he does in his future, bro, for real.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like to talk about the football aspect of it, Jaquez is a guy that could be a backup down or like a third down back or a backup to the first string because he's mad strong. He's quick as hell. That's one thing you can notice off his film. And then he's saying like I study ball a lot. So even if he's not like killing this year, I could see him getting into a training camp and a coach be like, "Yo, this kid is something I want to keep around my franchise or whatever the case may be." But definitely hoping he gets in the right situation because like I said, he's got talent, bro, and he's gonna keep getting better.
He also said, like, I'm a football player, you know what I mean? And that's what a lot of coaches is looking for. Like, yeah, he could play running back, but really, he's really built for anything. Like you said, football player. He could play whatever position you want him to play. He's gonna play hard and he just wants to win.
Nah, yeah, but that That's gonna do it for our conversation. Make sure you go check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever socials. We got a lot of content coming out. Make sure you go catch our most recent episodes. We dropped the associate head coach of Santa Clara, lead recruiter for Jalen Williams, Harvard women's basketball coach. We got Duncan Robinson a few weeks ago. Got a lot of good episodes coming out soon too. So make sure you subscribe, go follow us, and we'll see you next week.